Welcome to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast. We don't shy away and keep secrets here. We empower you with education, telling you the truth about all things aesthetic medicine while encouraging you to be the best version of yourself. It's time to look great and feel good doing it. This is your host, mom, speaker, and board-certified physician, Dr. Judith Borger.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Judith Borger, and today I'm talking about Ozempic Face. Yes, Ozempic Face in aesthetic patients, the skinny on Semaglutide and Beyond, and what that means really for facial aesthetics. This is episode 97, and I'm so happy that you're here. You know me, I'm an aesthetic medicine expert, and I am a lover of all things that help people feel their best from the inside out. Now today, with Ozempic Face, we're diving into one of the most buzzed about topics in both medicine and aesthetics. Now, we know that GLP medications like semaglutide or tirzepatide, you've heard them called Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, these medicines have really changed the landscape of weight loss. Millions of patients are on them. Millions of patients have had wonderful, amazing, great success in losing a large amount of weight, including patients of concierge medical arts. And let me first tell you, if you're one of those patients on that medication, I congratulate you, because it is still hard work, it's dedication, and I always just love to celebrate and applaud all of my patients, especially my weight loss patients. Now, what's happening though is not only are these medications changing the landscape of weight loss, they are really changing the faces and bodies of our patients. So let's talk about what that means for you as either an aesthetic practitioner or an aesthetic patient. Now, we have all heard about Ozempic Face, right? And it's a buzzword that really describes those facial changes that come with being on those weight loss medications and losing a lot of weight rapidly. Let's talk about GLP-1s 101 though, before we start. We all know that the GLP-1s are weight loss medicines, right? However, they were originally developed for diabetes. They work by mimicking the hormone GLP-1, and what it basically does is it slows gastric emptying, it increases insulin secretion, and it suppresses appetite. In plain language, as a patient, you feel full sooner, eat less, and lose weight. A lot of weight. Now, we are seeing people lose 15 to 20% of their total body weight in a matter of months. And for many, this has been a lifelong struggle with obesity, and it's the first time that they've experienced such dramatic and rapid transformations. I, in my practice, have patients that have lost 70, 80, 100, 150 pounds, which is amazing. However, that weight loss also alters aesthetic anatomy. So what does that mean when I say it alters aesthetic anatomy? Let's start with the face. As we lose fat, we all know that unfortunately we cannot pick where that fat comes from, right? I can't be like, oh, leave it in the boobs, leave it in the butt, take it out of the lower belly, take it out of the love handles, and leave it in the face. That's not how it works. We lose fat everywhere, right? And so as we lose weight, fat pads shrink. And it is some of these fat pads in the face that sort of give you a youthful appearance. If you look at children, if you look at young adults, they still have great fat pads in their face. So as people lose a ton of weight, and especially people that lose that weight very, very rapidly, your body kind of takes the fat and the volume from everywhere. So as fat pads in the face shrink, patients can experience like a hollow look in the temples, the mid face, the lower face, the perioral area, meaning the area around the mouth, and the skin that once from sort of fat distributed all over the body had volume also in the face. Now that fat is gone, underneath suddenly looks lax, deflated, and older. And I use the term Ozempic face because it's what's been called in the media. It's a catchy term, but I think we've all seen it. People that have suddenly lost a lot of weight and now their face has that very kind of premature, holly, saggy sort of look, maybe out of proportion to what their age is. And it's noticeable too because that change has been so rapid, right? And though this doesn't stop at the face, rapid fat loss can deflate the breasts, the buttocks, the limbs, and it kind of leaves that loose, crepey skin. And because with these medicine, weight loss is so fast, a lot of times it outpaces the body's ability to remodel collagen. And so sometimes patients actually see stretch marks or cellulite-like changes. And then a lot of times patients on these medicines have nutritional changes and caloric deficits and don't get enough absorption of certain of the vitamins and stuff that are needed. So we sometimes see what we call telogen effluvium, which is excessive hair loss or hair shedding, and we see like a dullness in the skin. And these changes are really kind of new to this landscape, and that's why I wanted to address it from an aesthetic expert perspective. So these changes bring new challenges for both us as aesthetic providers and our patients as patients who are undergoing through this. And yes, they're seeing weight loss, they're super happy, but then there's also this sort of accelerated hollowness, aging, laxity that happens. And when we really think about what do we want to do is, I think in aesthetics, we really need to rethink what we think about filler placement, filler dosing. And so we're really, with these patients, aiming for less projection and more structural support. And for those of you who are losing weight, it's important that we also do skin tightening like radiofrequency. That can be powerful tools, and timing is really everything. Large aesthetic procedures should really wait until a patient's weight has stabilized to avoid chasing a moving target, because otherwise the results can look disproportionate, or as the weight loss continues, your results can fade. And then there is obviously expectations. I love that my weight loss patients feel empowered. I love that they want their outside to reflect how great they feel fast. And my job in aesthetics is really to balance that excitement with a safe, staged approach. And what do I mean by that? Safety has to come first. Now, and as a physician, I really stand by that. Rapid weight loss can be associated with nutritional deficiencies, which can impact skin healing and collagen production. And I always do a medical history, and sometimes we do ask to see lab work that has been done. And the other thing is, I have all the empathy for my patients. And if you're one of the GLP-1 patients that is seeing maybe changes in your face that you're not that happy about, like a hollowness in the cheeks, some laxity around the jawline, I want to just tell you, this is a common and expected part of rapid weight loss. And we can absolutely address it, and it has to be strategically, it has to be safe, and likely it's gonna take more than one procedure. For example, I love starting with non-invasive skin tightening and collagen stimulation while the weight is still fluctuating. My stage 2 is really doing like a volume restoration once the weight has stabilized, and my stage 3 is resurfacing texture and contour optimization. I always want to have natural results, and I want to avoid chasing a moving target. Let's talk about my solutions for Ozempic Face. Now, as I said, is that we do need to restore volume. Now, like I said in the last kind of little bit, volume restoration is the best once your weight has stabilized. And then we do need to take a comprehensive approach. There's a lot of great new papers coming out that talk about biostimulators in these patients, as well as the combination of biostimulators with hyaluronic acid fillers. So for volume restoration, I absolutely think most patients do need some hyaluronic acid fillers or Radiesse, which is a calcium-based fillers, in strategic zones to just replace those areas where there's the super depleted fat pad. So we're talking about the temples, we're talking about the mid-face, and then plus or minus sort of the perioral area. But then what I think is really huge and amazing in weight loss patients that are experiencing Ozempic Face kind of features is biostimulators, right? Sculpture or Radiesse, because we do want to diffusely add volume and induce new collagen. So biostimulators are wonderful for the lower face. They can be used in the temples, they can be used in the neck. And I think any strategic staged approach, especially in weight loss patients that have lost a lot of weight rapidly, does need to include biostimulators. So if your practitioner isn't offering you biostimulators, like ask them why. And then of course, PRP, PRF could be really helpful here, especially in patients that want a more natural approach, because it will improve skin quality and subtle volume. So volume restoration, which is really my stage 2. However, the reason I put it first is also because I have done some patients that have lost. I just did another biostimulator treatment in a patient that has lost, I want to say 80 pounds. And we have done hyperdilute Radiesse throughout her weight loss. Now, not a crazy amount, but really like a vial or 2 vials every 6 months. And she's now lost 80 pounds, but she's also done it slowly. It's been about 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And so her face looks beautiful. It looks amazing. And we've really stimulated her collagen and her volume to sort of be on pace with what she's losing through her weight loss. Now, I absolutely think that skin tightening is key in everybody experiencing skin laxity, but especially in weight loss patients that have lost a lot of weight and they're seeing that sort of loose skin. So we're talking about RF microneedling mainly, right? We have the Matrix Pro from Candela. We also have the original Profound from Candela to tighten skin and stimulate neocollagenesis. I can never say that, but I think I did it this time. Neocollagenesis, basically the stimulation of new collagen, because that's what this is all about. We want to have skin tightening, and biostimulation can really be done sort of as a concurrent preventative to your weight loss to sort of prevent some of those face skin changes, right? So of course we can treat it once it's happened, but I think the reason I would really put that combination of radiofrequency microneedling and sculpture or hyperdilute Radiesse at the top of my list is because we can do that ongoing also as the weight loss is occurring concurrently, so we don't ever get that huge hollowing, sagging. We're not doing nothing and then we're suddenly 100 pounds down and we're like, oops, what do we do with your face now? So I've done this in a couple patients, and literally they're my patients whose bodies look great and whose faces do not show their weight loss. So skin tightening Of course, there's ultrasound-based devices to lift and firm. And then there's also some fractional lasers, such as the Fraxel or other ones that can boost tone and elasticity and boost the collagen too. So really, RF microneedling, top of that list, some ultrasound-based devices, and then the Frax lasers are really good. Of course, for the skin quality that we mentioned, medical grade skincare is great to, again, rebuild the barrier. You can also do light chemical peels and exozone skin boosters for hydration, glow, and fine texture. And then really, for collagen and volume support, again, we can do hyperdilute biostimulatory fillers in the knees, upper arms, buttocks. And then again, microneedling and RF, fractional resurfacing to thicken crepey skin. Resurfacing devices will also help with stretch marks or cellulite-like dimples. And then, of course, the topical retinoids and the topical peptides support ongoing collagen remodels. It is probably also to be said that there are certain parts of the body that I don't really believe that the non-surgical modalities offer enough. So that means a lot of people might wish to have abdominoplasties, might wish to have pannus removals, might wish to have the excess arm skin sort of removed. And I always tell all my patients, and if you're one of those patients, get to your endpoint, get to where your weight is stable, be at that stable weight for 3 months, and then get your surgical procedure done. And I refer a ton of my weight loss patients to my local plastic surgeon, who I absolutely love, and he does a great job. And so we kind of manage the patients together. Now, of course, the same goes in the face. A lot of patients, depending on age, depending on degree of laxity, may want to have definite surgical treatments, and I'm all for that. But not everybody wants to have a facelift or wants to have a facelift now, especially younger patients, or wants to have a neck lift. So I definitely think that in the face especially, and in those areas where there's maybe mild to moderate laxity, or where either you're not a surgical candidate, you don't feel like surgery is something you want, or where it's maybe like a little bit bothersome, but not to the point that you would undergo a big expensive surgical procedure, I think in aesthetics, we can definitely do great things. And with the combination of fillers, biostimulators, lasers or laser resurfacing, and skin tightening such as radio frequency microneedling. So really, if you're a weight loss patient, come see me. I welcome you. We'll have a consult. We'll make your journey. And just like your weight loss has a journey, there's not a one-size-fits-all procedure, because even if you're going to have, let's say, a facelift and you're at that point, most of the time they're going to do a facelift and they're still going to recommend filler. A lot of times I've actually had plastic surgeons send me patients that say, hey, I want this patient to get a series of Fraxel first to get that skin condition so that when I pull it, it looks better. Like that has also happened to me once. So it's all combination treatments. It's a journey over time, like you're losing your weight. And honestly, with the patients that I've accompanied on this journey, it's been so gratifying. And the ones that have really had the most beautiful results have sort of done little things as they've seen changes in their face. So that's really what I recommend. But no matter where you are, you're always welcome. We can definitely help you look your best as you feel your best. And so I hope this kind of was something that helped a lot of weight loss patients and health practitioners, because Ozempic Face is the thing. It's a side product of rapid weight loss because you lose weight everywhere, and we can absolutely do something about it. So some of the pro tips at the end for injectors are really to reassess anatomy at each stage of the weight loss, because facial proportions can really shift quite rapidly. We also want to always be aware of nutritional status before any sort of collagen stimulation or healing dependent procedures. And what I want to say to both patients and providers that are listening, like, trust the slow stage progress, right? So GLPs are transforming lives, and I'm so happy that not only do I have the powerful opportunity to walk alongside my patients during that transformation, and I have the opportunity to really add to the weight loss procedures or the weight loss medication, those aesthetic procedures that really make my patients feel their best. So really, it comes down to the pillars of timing, safety, and staging. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe, share it with a friend or a colleague, connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Borger, and tune in for our next episode. So until next time, stay inspired, stay curious, and keep celebrating your beauty that starts from within.
Thank you for listening to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast with Dr. Judith Borger. We'd love to connect with you outside of the show. Follow Dr. Borger on Instagram at Dr. Borger and find more online and ways to work with Dr. Borger at www.theaestheticdoctor.com. Until next time, be well.